Mac OS X, conventional places where binary files should live. I've downloaded an application that is a command line application, and want to put it somewhere where I can run it from the command line without having to type the path explicitly. What are the conventional paths used for something like this? /usr/bin. Are there different options, one if I want it for all users, and one if I want it for just a particular user, like my administrator account? Or should I put it in its own directory under the applications directory, and add it to the path? If so, which file controls where the path is set?
I tend to go with rs local. Here's a nice explanation why, which refers to File System Hierarchy Standard, FHS, which in turn says about rs local. Tertiary hierarchy for local data, specific to this host. Typically has further subdirectories, e.g., bin, lib, share.
The short answer, you probably want rs local bin. Depending on how recent your macOS is, you may need to update your default data path. See below for further details. Update from the 12th of January 2018, at some point since I wrote my original answer, Apple changed its default data path. As a result, a lot of what I say below is irrelevant to recent Macs. If you type echo data path in a terminal, and rs local bin is first, then you can ignore everything below about changing your data path. Original answer. Macs are unusual in this regard. The default data path variable for a regular user looks like this. By putting rs local bin after rs bin and bin, Mac appends the usual system. Normally, you can put something into rs local bin, say a second Perl interpreter, compiled in some non-standard way, and then a regular user will hit the custom one rather than the system-wide one first. This is good. Users can get variants, but the system stays pure. Given Apple's default data path, however, items in rs bin or bin will get found before anything in rs local bin. This basically defeats the purpose of installing, e.g., the custom Perl in rs local bin. To fix this, you can change the regular user's data path by editing the .profile file in the user's home directory. That file may not exist if you have a brand new install. In that case, create it. Semi-related, Homebrew provides excellent package management for Macs. By default, Homebrew installs software into rs local, but it does so in a way that makes it very easy to remove things and return to a vanilla state later.
usr local bin and usr local spin are well worth adding to your path, as a lot of makefiles for source builds are defaulted to install there. If you use Mac ports, it's worth adding bopt local bin and bopt local spin as well. The best way to do this is to add export path skeptical smiley usr local bin column usr local spin column bopt local bin column bopt local spin column $path to the .basic file in your home directory, which is hidden, so the CLI is the best way to do this. Or, if you want to change the system-wide path, add the same line to etc basic, not hidden, but you will need to sudo to do this. If you don't have a .basic in any user's home, you can make one and add this line to it. But remember to change the permissions on the file you create to make it readable by the user in question, obviously not relevant if you're doing it for your own profile. The $path at the end appends the system default path to whatever you put before. Note that the system searches for binaries in the order of paths given, so if you install a binary in usr local or bopt local that is also installed by default on the system, the versions you install will be found first, which can, though rarely, upset things. It is worth watching out for. Good information is here. I should note that the above assumes you are using Bash for the shell, which is the default on Mac OS X version 10.4, Tiger, and Mac OS X version 10.5, Leopard, but not on earlier systems, which use TCSH instead, which has a different syntax. I hope that helps.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.